Welcome to Alpha Talks and our conversations with empowered women. Today, we have an educationist who is an out-of-box thinker. She has been the Sheriff of Mumbai for 2 consecutive terms, a rare honor. Someone who breaks stereotypes, and her journey has been unlike many in her field. And she's an inspiration to anyone who meets her. She is the inimitable Dr. Indu Shahani. The lady has been the principal of HR College for 16 years and is at present the president and chairperson of 5 new age educational institutions in design and innovation, media and communication, management and entrepreneurship, hospitality, entertainment, and the arts. She sits on the board of Colgate-Palmolive, HSBC Asset Management, Bajaj Electrical, and the list goes on. May I present to you Dr. Shahani. So welcome, Dr. Shahani, to the show. It's been quite the coup having the CEO of Apple, Mr. Cook, visit the Atlas campus, something only you could have done. How did he enjoy meeting the students?
I think it's always the students in my life who have inspired me. And again, it was the work of the students. The design school is where the students do some marvelous work, student work, and we just demonstrated that. And we got a call saying that he would like to visit us and meet the students. And so that was really it. But he was, I think one of the things that he had said and he practices is he had said at one of the speeches when he was giving the speech at Stanford, he had said, be different, but do things, have ambition, but ensure that they are with humility and humility with a purpose. And I think this is what attracted him, because most of the students had done work which was for sustainability, their design projects, creative projects, and creative sustainability. And he was really, really impressed with that. And I'm happy to say that he doesn't just talk about humility, he practices it. He came in without much fanfare and fuss, and came in, walked in, met the students, sat with the students, looked at the student work, talked to them, and said, remain creative all your life and you will do very well. And I think that is a great message that he has left for the students. And I think it's a message for all of us, especially in education, because I think our curriculum starts becoming outdated and we need to be creative about what we are going to teach the newer and newer generations. It's happened in such a way that for years and years, 19th century curriculum has been taught by 20th century faculty to the 21st century students. I think it's time to change. And thank you, Mr. Cook, for reminding us that our creativity should continue in education also.
Gosh, life-changing moment for everyone I'm sure he met. Just a great opportunity for all. Amazing. So how important is it, do you think, to unlearn sometimes as an educationist?
I think all the time. I just had a young student who came across and met me just this morning. And he said to me, ma'am, I want to do my CFA and my lecture timings don't permit that. And I said, let's look at what you're doing in your lecture timings. And then he said, I'm doing this financial management. I said, financial management is something you will learn even in the CFA. So why don't we try and give you that extra time so that you can get into your CFA and we exchange that attendance for this particular subject will be given when you do your CFA classes. And I think it's so important because to think that the idea that one can earn a degree at the age of 22 and be set for a career has become antiquated. Today, the jobs of the future are changing. The challenges of the future are different. And I think preparing students for such a fast changing world is becoming even more difficult for educationists because of technology. Technology is changing the world so quickly. And I think you can all understand that this is something that education has to really cope up with. And so let me tell you about unlearning. I've taught, I would say, advertising, media, and this over the years in many colleges and over many years. And I get a call from an advertising agency which says, we have some vacancies. And I thought, fantastic. Here's a chance for my students to get some vacant posts and apply for it. And I said, can you send us the job description? And they said, it's very simple. They have to make out what the job description is. And I said, but what's the job title? The job title is a mood analyst. Something that I don't know if I've been teaching my students that. I don't know where in the books do I find this. I don't know how do I get across to this. And it is something that is very difficult for me to figure out. And so what I did was I went across and I took my students to the Gucci store in the Palladium. And I said, just see, what do you think this job description requires? And the students went around and I said, just observe people coming in, see their moods, see what kind of, products are they looking at? How do you need to now change your entire media understanding, your advertising understanding, just to understand that the customer's moods are more important? And that's it, right? So, the jobs are changing, unlearning by the minute.
True, so true. We need a lot of more Dr. Shahanis. Anyway, according to you, should education be curriculum-centric or student-centric? What is the norm in our country?
Well, I've been an absolute promoter of student centricity, always and always. I used to say I had a write-up when I was the principal of HR college outside my door, which said, students push the door, faculty knock and come in. And that was something that I've practiced all my life. Even today, I'm the chancellor of the university, but students can walk in at any time and talk to me. Just like this afternoon, this young man came up with his CFA and he said he wanted to work on this. The other day, somebody from the design school came up and said, I want to work on a project with somebody just down the line, the chaiwala. I want to work on a very creative project with him. And I said, go ahead. So I think student centricity, it's very difficult to understand what student centricity is all about. Actually, it's three things. Making education democratic. And when we say education has to be democratic, it should be something where we have to see that, and technology has helped us to make education democratic by seeing that more and more people now can join in, because online education made education available to a large number of students. And I think student centricity increased because anyone could sit on these classes and join in. And I think today we encourage that some of the faculty members should continue their teaching for those who aren't getting an opportunity to come to our colleges to buy, online. So that's one way. So it has to be democratized. Secondly, education has to be individualized. Not everyone in the class wants to learn about, difficult things that are being taught, or about things that don't interest them. Now, a young student said that, look, I know you're talking about cybersecurity, and I'm happy to learn that. But, how is cybersecurity being actually utilized? Can we actually go and meet people, and can we talk to people and understand this? Now, understanding what the student, what your consumer wants is student centricity. And now we have an actual system by which students are requested and asked to help the faculty to set up the programs that they would like to study. And I think that's most important. Curriculums don't change. Students are more dynamic. So let's get everybody together and see that the curriculum can be made more student-centric, and the students can also understand the depth of the curriculum.
Amazing. So we are seeing that there is a huge gap very often, as you have touched upon already, that, between education that we are imparting and the professional requirements. How do we make education more topical and relevant?
I think exposure to the real world. This is something that has not been done. I don't think you can get education just in the classroom. And you can get a set of education in the classroom, but unless you move the students out. I remember one of my most favorite classes that I used to do once upon a time, and I'm not doing it any longer because of the pandemic, it went off, was I did a class on marketing, but I did not do it in the classroom. I did it at a Starbucks. Because let them understand the consumer, let them understand the product, let them understand what is marketing when they are in that atmosphere. And those were the classes which I think the students never forgot because it was related to real life. So I think not just related to the real life in the corporate world, but I think related to the real life in what is actually happening. Look at the amount of data that is available. I think just analyzing data is something that will help them to connect with the real world. Of course, a third thing is that are they connected to the communities around them? And I think the Rotary clubs do such wonderful job in seeing that the students get connected to the real world. I mean, I must talk about the Rotary Club of Atlas. I was taken in by surprise when I was told that I have to inaugurate a very unique project, and that is they were starting a community fridge. I had never thought of something like this, and I said, oh my gosh, these students are just amazing. Yes, they work with municipal schools, they do other things, but to actually go out there into the communities, anyone can open that fridge and it's being replenished by the students. They've taken this up upon themselves, which means that actually you have to connect with the real world in the real sense. Corporates, because you need jobs, connect with the communities because you're going to start entrepreneurship projects, and of course, connect with what is actually happening in technology. So technology, data, communities, and the corporate world. This is where you
Yes, amazing. That just follows with the next question. We find that now technology has and is going to continue to influence ethics in education. So what do you think we can do, or is it going to affect? What is your opinion?
Can you explain that question a little more when you say that it's going to do?
So you find people, plagiarism, for example, everything is available on the net. So, when you're going to write essay,
okay, I got it.
So many, that's just a small little chat, so many different things.
I mean, I'm myself a culprit. Very often I look at so many things that I need to do at the same time, and then there are some of my assignments which are done by ChatGPT. But let me tell you something. Technology has always been there, right? Different kinds of technology and different stages of technology. But the human brain has always led technology. And talking about ethical issues, I'm going to come to that a bit later. First, I would just like to say that I think technology is an aid and not a replacement. When I see the Chat GPT, it gives me thoughts and ideas. This is the direction. And then I start working and looking and talking. And that's it. I just needed that springboard to get into it and start my brain functioning. It will always be digital, human, digital, human. There will always be a humanistic approach to our digitalization because, like I've seen my granddaughter, she will talk to Alexa and then after some time she'll say, Alexa, I think you don't know what I'm asking you, which means she's definitely far ahead of Alexa. So I think that aspect, I would say that human brain will always be superior. Talking about ethics, I think ethics is a general criteria for everything. It's not just for technology. It's within education. It's within in your workplace. It's within the corporates. It's within the practices that you have. I think ethical behavior is something, and the role of ethics in a human being's life is something that I feel has always been a challenge. And I think right from the beginning in education, we emphasize that they should have a high ethical behavior. So that once you have strong ethics, technology cannot come in you.
Great. Anyway, I feel like an opinion is that it's here to stay and we have to adapt. Let's hope everything else falls into place. Are we building, do you think, better citizens for the planet with the current education system? What changes are being made or what do you think need to be made?
I think more importantly, the connect with the community. I think at the end of the day, when a graduate walks out of an institution, more than the degrees that he's carrying or he or she is carrying with them, it's the value system that that the student has imbibed and responsibility towards his country, towards his work, towards the entire, his being a responsible citizen is most important. And that is something we have to start inculcating in education from day one, from minute one. And that starts with, we have to give them courses in skills, courses in sustainable practices. And I think sustainability has become one of the most important business practices today, so that we are able to bring in the entire education system to really go around it. The entire university creation should be around sustainability because that is the future. Even the campus design and the infrastructure, the curriculum development, the research and innovation, and the community engagement, all these in an educational institution should now be focused on sustainability, or as they now call it, ESG. Earlier, it was the CSR of companies that they talked about. We at Atlas talk about it as the SSR, the school social responsibility.
Fabulous. Absolutely amazing. And it's been such a pleasure to talk to someone who is, like I mentioned before, always thinks out of the box, has such an amazing perspective on education, a very unusual one that I have seen. And, and I have to mention one of the best dressed women I have ever seen,
oh my God.
among other things. So such a joy to talk to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you very much. And all the best.